Okay, I would like to speak to you today about our K08 series of VISO connectors. This is one of several clamping type connectors that we have to hold down cargo containers or really any structure that happens to incorporate a corner fitting. Now, corner fittings, I have an example of one here, are these steel castings with holes in them. And this particular VISO connector is made to fit in this big hole here. And the corner fitting and the container are controlled by ISO standards. And in those standards, they have certain tolerances. And the tolerances of the length of the container, the width, not only tolerances incorporated in a casting here. So you have an accumulation of tolerances, and in order to make different types of fittings to hold containers down, the most popular ones are products like this, which is really called a twist lock. And a twist lock, very simply, you move a handle and it twists that cone inside of a corner fitting, okay, like this. You move that handle and it locks. Now, you really have a very loose connection in this way, and that's the standard commercial method. And in most cases, that's fine. They're just shipping cargo, and the jiggling and moving around is acceptable. Now, the VISO connector is specifically designed for applications where that movement is unacceptable. There could be some sort of shock loading that goes on that may affect the equipment or the products that you have inside of the container or shelter. And so Tandemloc came up with a clamping type connector, and by turning this drive screw, it actuates this dog here, if you will, clamp arm, that moves downward and grabs the inside wall of the corner fitting. So once again, the corner fitting fits very nicely on the VISO, and simply turn this drive stud, and I'll turn it by hand just to get it moving here. And I'll tell you, I don't even really have to tighten it up using a wrench to make the point. But once it makes contact, okay, I'll give it a little hit with the wrench. Very, very little. It removes all the slack. It's hard to really see it, but there is no movement there, and that's the key. That's what customers with special applications are interested in, and that's how it works. Now, I'll show another view. Very quickly, get that undone. Turn that drive stud. That's probably enough to get it off. So, okay. This is an aperture plate, and for demonstration purposes, this is an actual product of Tandemloc. The aperture plate is nothing more than the top, or actually the bottom plate that mimics the same hole. Same thickness as a corner fitting. So for demonstration purposes, if I put that plate on here and close that, you can see easily how much slack there is. Let's see if I show that to the camera this way. You can see there's all kinds of movement. With the VISO connector, again, I'm going to use the wrench this time. My hands are getting tired. There's no slack. So it's a slack-free connector. And the connectors are available in 3 different styles. The one I was just showing you is just the plain VISO connector, and we also offer them with pads, these rubber pads, nice and hard, but that gives some additional cushioning that would otherwise not be there without them, and takes some of the shock out of there. And we also have a VISO connector that comes with hardware, and what's neat about this hardware is you've got socket cap screws on the bottom, but on the ends of the socket cap screws it's slotted, so if you don't have access to that hex, you can hold the screw with a screwdriver and then turn the nut. So that's available if you'd like that, and you also can get them with the pads and the hardware. So different accessories. The most common one is the VISO connector here without pads and hardware. Sell quite a few to special application users such as military and other unusual uses of the cargo container. The capacity on these guys is about 44,000 pounds in upward restraint. They are galvanized. These show as bolt-on units. If you would prep the galvanized, grind it off, they are weldable. The steel is low carbon steel. You can weld it, and it's a very good product. So we do keep a good inventory of these items on the shelf for immediate shipment. And if you have any questions, please visit the website for exact dimensions, more details, and you can always call one of the salespeople. We'll be glad to help you. Thank you very much.